Hey all, 118 Set Shadow here. With the release of Verdant Steel Set 7 and the continuation of the BCS, and on top of that, the big shopping weekend starting with Black Friday, lots of big movements have been happening across the board, and it's been very wild going back and forth. So, we have a lot more to cover than usual today, so I'm going to get straight into it. And a lot of them are going to be discussions. First thing I want to talk about are leader cards. In particular, because I want to see where the small leaders, like the base rarity ones that you can get from the starter decks, are at. Now, of course, we have the original 6 from Arissa to Isabel to Eris, and then we got a bunch more, which can correlate to different crafts, but can also correlate to universes. Like, we have Idolmaster, Mio Honda, Rin Shibuya. We also have the Glory Finder leaders, like Faral, Nadia, and Baphomet. On top of that, there's also the collaboration leaders like Jeremiah, but those are not base ones, those are foiled. And then, of course, you got Mono, which, thanks to set 7, this one will probably see some popularity. Although, note, from what I understand, the leader cards from Glory Finder don't have the RFID chips inside them, so you cannot use them with the Sidekick app. The main thing to cover here is that even at the low end, a number of these leaders are really starting to go up in value. Like, Eris is now a base of $10, but has a market price just under 5. Isabel is currently the cheapest market price and base listing wise, apparently. 90 cents is the lowest listing, but the market price right now is still 137. And Rowan is still under $2 market and base price wise, while Arissa's right around there. Erica has stayed very consistent. If you've been watching my market watches before, it's still over $3 to pick up. Luna took off on its base listing to be $750, and the market price on that one's still $350, so not much in terms of sales. Some of the other small ones that you can pick up include Runecraft's Millipar Fae, which was a box topper for set 3. It's currently under $250. Rin Shibuya and Mio Honda are next up at about $4 each, with their market prices being $5. And then some other ones. Actually, the Glory Finder ones don't really count that much, given that they only come in a $80 to $100 set, so I think we'll go ahead and skip that. But just keep in mind, even on the low end, a lot of these leaders are both disappearing because they all have less than 10 listings right now, and they're also just moving up in price. Note, in the BCS season and in competitive play, you do need a corresponding leader to your universe or to your craft. So just make sure you always have at least one of each craft so that you can use them. And as for universes, you will need to make sure you have one for your universe too. Next up are neutral cards that come out of set 7, Verdant Steel. With the Black Friday weekend, there has been a lot of back and forth on just what's been selling, where prices have ended up, and there are a lot more that just keep coming back onto the market. It's only been about a week since the release of set 7, but just like how set 3 brought us Alice, and then we saw set 4 with Israfil, which is still pretty far up there, Technolord and Viridia Magna are really shaping up to be pretty expensive as we continue through the BCS season. Technolord is currently at a base of $29, and the Super Legendary currently has the same base price, so it really just depends. With Technolord's base Legendary going down in listings, but the fact that you get a guaranteed Super Legendary per box now, it's a bit hard to tell whether or not the overall price will just see an increase. And the same goes for Viridia Magna, where its Evo is actually more expensive than its base form, usually by around $5. And that includes the Super Legendary variants too. Something I still don't understand either is that Technolord got an ultimate rare. It also got waifuified. While I know Viridia Magna is already a waifu, but it didn't even get an ultimate rare, which kinda irks me. I don't understand why they didn't at least give the Evo an ultimate rare. It doesn't make that much sense to me, but that's a gripe for another time. Other neutral cards to watch out for are Misha, Hero of Purgation, and Desert Pathfinder. There's also Mecha Wing Angel as well if we're going to spread through golds, because Misha is just a generic neutral. Desert Pathfinder is intended for Natura, and then Mecha Wing Angel is intended for Machina. So, between those, there's still a good amount of listings on the market, but from what I was told, at least from local case pulls, it's actually hard to pull a lot of these from boxes overall. I've opened 4 boxes altogether, so I don't have a great sample size, but I can tell you I have not pulled a single Desert Pathfinder, and I have pulled 3 Mishas along with 2 Evos of it. In fact, yesterday, I pulled the regular and the Evo in one pack back to back, which was interesting too. So if you do need to pick up these neutrals, they're under $2 right now, and especially when it comes to the Misha Evo, which is actually around $5, if you need that, remember, Evo golds are usually a lot more expensive, especially if they don't have foil counterparts, which it doesn't look like Misha does, and I don't think it did. Its support card, though, Purgation Blade, does have a foil. The regular silver is available for around 35 cents, while the foil is currently around $8, but it's already sold for over 10. And of course, you want to pay attention to other big Machina and Natura support cards from the silver level too, like Robo Goblin and Colorful Cook are going to be important, and because they're generic, they can be played across various builds. There's also Mecha Gun Wielder that you'll have to keep in mind as well. So just keep your eye. Neutrals are always big cards because they're generic and can be played across decks, and because we're in BCS season, there's a higher chance of these just continuously moving upward. On that same topic, Alice Wonderland Explorer is going to be our next card, which Alice did get new support, particularly for Forestcraft and Havencraft with Verdant Steel. Yet despite that, there hasn't been any significant buyout in this card at all. You can now pick up Wonderland Explorer, both its Evo and its regular, for around $10 a pair. And when it comes to the Super Legendaries, the base form has dropped off underneath $30, while the Super Legendary of the Evo is now under $10 for base listings. And every single listing, including the Ultimate Rare, has over 10 listings available right now, meaning that this card is really not getting looked at all. If you're intending to try out new Fable variants for this current BCS format, I mean, they are viable. I don't know how much, because I haven't really tested myself, but they are viable. And of course, one of the big chase cards for this set is going to be Mono Garnet Rebel, as Abyss Machina is looking to be one of the more popular decks coming into the BCS format. But there are some other ones that can definitely make their way in, and we have seen some pretty interesting rogues. But Mono is definitely one to watch out for, given its popularity as a character too. Right now, when it comes to the base form, it's $11 base right now for the regular one, and the Super Legendary is currently a base of $17, but a market price of $10. So I would still watch and see where we're going with that. If you think it'll go up higher, I'd say 17 is still not a bad price point for the Super Legendary. And interestingly enough, the Super Legendary of the Evo is cheaper than the regular one of the Evo. But then, of course, Mono has an Ultimate Rare Evo version, which kind of offsets that too. And that Ultimate Rare is currently above $140. In any case, I would definitely shop around too. If you do have other local card shops or other stores that you go to for singles, I don't know of that many that are online. It would definitely be a good idea to take a look around to see if you can find these for decent prices. And one other card I just want to point out is Nicola Forbidden Strength, which is a silver from Verdant Steel. Currently, you can pick up the regular and Evo for underneath 50 cents a piece base pricing, and there's still over 10 listings there. However, this does have a foil counterpart, which is almost $5 for the base form it's $7 plus for the base form and almost $5 for the Evo. So another one to watch out for, especially as we look at Machina to be kind of bigger. The promo Super Legendary of Hulking Giant, which we got as the hard pull for last tournament set packs has seen a bit of an increase in value. It's currently 901 base on the market. Normally I would just chalk this up to players just trying to get an extra buck after sellouts because we only have 2 listings on this. But apparently it did actually sell at $9.01. And the only listings, 2 of them left at just around that $9 mark. So yeah, it's interesting to see that. And it's interesting to see that we don't even have that many of these on the market, which I'm surprised. Another one you'll want to watch out for is Kaede Takagaki from Idolmasters. So, I don't know what happened with this one, but it is a solid card for Havencraft in general. Ward, banish a card on play, and on top of that, if your life is so low, you immediately get 5 life too with a draw. The base price is now $10, but with a $5 shipping tag, and the market price is around $5.50 at this point. Volume on this card increased more recently, where it's been selling for at least $3-4, and it's topped off around $7 in terms of sales. But the only listings right now, oh man, these are obscene. $10 and $20, but they have $4 to $5 shipping tags on top of them, so yeah, we need more listings of this on the market. If you can find it locally or elsewhere, I'd shop around for a bit, because I feel like this one can come back on the market in troves. Then another one I do want to point out is Kyoko Igarashi for Swordcraft. So I feel like this one gets overlooked quite a bit, but it is a pretty solid card to play and really cheap to pick up right now. Currently the card is available for around $1.50 to $2 for its base legendary, and the Evo is less than $1 to pick up for its base, but a market price of almost $4. However, there are around 30 plus listings on each of them, and if you want the super legendary hot stamp versions, those ones are also available for around $5 a piece. Don't confuse it with the starter deck version with PCS in the name. That's not the one that I'm really referring to. I haven't really looked at that one in particular, but the one that Kyoko Igarashi's booster pack version is the one that I'm talking about, the 7 cost as opposed to the 4 cost. And there's an ultimate rare of that 7 cost Evo as well that's available for at least $46. I don't know. I mean, popularity-wise, I feel like the deck this goes in will probably be less played, but it's a definite contender, I'd say. Ginsetsu Great Fox has had some interesting movement, especially thanks to that promo Super Legendary Carbon copy, because the Super Legendary of the base form from set 6 got bought out, and the market price is $25 right now, but there's only a single listing now at $115. I seriously don't anticipate that getting bought at all. There should definitely be more coming on the market, but you never know. The very fact that someone bought the promo version for almost $150, that can throw caution to the wind. You never know. But the regular base form is up in price overall. The market price and the base price are now $15 to $16, so another thing to watch. As for the evolved version, there are over 22 listings available on the regular one for around $5, and the super legendary is barely above that at about $6, but only 6 listings. And the ultimate rare of the Evo is currently $100 base with 6 listings, and the market price is around $125. I need to point out Marwyn as well, even though it's probably not going to get played as much now that there are a number of new outs to it with set 7. The thing is, the base legendary and the super legendary of the base form are now about equal in price. In fact, the base listing of the regular legendary has exceeded the super legendary at this point by around $1. And then the Evo, on the other hand, is still cheap all across the board, including the ultimate rare, which has a low listing of $26.50. Marwyn is still a pretty good card overall, and nice to have in your back pocket. But with the new amounts of outs that can come against it, you probably won't see it get played as much now. Rule and I also saw a bit of a fallout, and the base legendary is currently at around $11, where the market price is over $16 right now. The The Super Legendary of the base form is still out of stock with a market price of around 21, and when it comes to the Evo versions, they range from $9 to $15 in terms of the regular and the Super Legendary, and market prices have a difference of about $4. Armor of the Stars is a I can't say common, bronze. It's a bronze from set 4, where I'm actually surprised this one does not have a foil. It's called Armor of the Stars. You would think they would actually make a foil of this one. Very cheap to pick up, but a great support card for Swordcraft in general. 27 listings on the regular bronze versus the Glory Finder one, which only has 4 listings, but no one's bought that anyway. And it's really cheap. Under 20 cents to pick up a single copy or two. But it's definitely good to have in your back pocket if you're a Swordcraft player. I've been seeing a lot of decks play more of Underworld Watchman Kawi these days, but the card itself is still very easy to pick up. Over 55 listings on the regular gold from set 2, and the foil has 21 listings for at least $1 at this point. It also has a leader card, which is currently around 42. Lily, which has been a big talk that I've had all the time. I mean, this card just continuously keeps seeing play across formats and should continue to do so, but it just keeps rotating off and on depending. But right now, the main thing I want to talk about is where the Evo is at, because both of them have very similar pricing right now at around $1.50 to $2. And when it comes to the foil version, in terms of the history of where this has been going, not much volume over the last few months. More recently, we saw some more pickups, but overall not many at all. Only 5 sales in the last 3 months, and there are only 2 copies available for under $2. After that, it becomes a $3 card again, but for a card that keeps on moving back and forth into the format, I'd say that's still pretty fair. Acolyte's Light, which also is just a good generic for Havencraft, is sitting around $4 to $5 across the board. In terms of base pricing, all of that is currently lower than the market price. So the card has been falling out of favor in general and has been seeing more listings hit the market. We talked about how the original from the trial deck was always just running out of quantities, and now we're back to 16 listings on it. So if you do need to pick this up, at least you have options, and I don't think there's much potential for this to keep getting lower, but at the same time, there is a top promo that should be getting listed on here at some point, so watch out for that. Then we also have Cerberus, which has not been seeing so much play recently, and it also got its Glory Finder reprints, so the card is still around $4 to pick up for the base form, and the Evos are still dirt cheap at under $1. Right now, the Super Legendaries are both under $10 to pick up, so still rather affordable if you want to try this out for Abyss going forward. And when it comes to the leader card, that one is almost $200 to pick up. And the last card of the day is Ancient Elf, which has lots of listings available on its base legendary, but something interesting happened where the Super Legendary of the base form is now bought out. Market price is currently $15, and for some reason, the only listing on the market is $100. Definitely not a sell. Definitely not a sell, in my opinion. So I just wait for more copies to hit the market there. As for the Evo, lots of listings on that one at $1 or under, 40 overall. And the Super Legendary for that one, not nearly as crazy as what we're seeing on the base form. $5.61 is the current low with 9 listings, but the market price is around $7. Ancient Elf is likely to see some more play with this format as well, but Forest is a little less popular for this format in general, so I wouldn't imagine there being a lot of hype for it. Except for the fact that I guess someone just really wanted to buy out the Super Legendaries. I don't know why. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys later.